and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things lipedema. So today's guest is Anna. Hi Anna.
Hello.
Hi. And today we are speaking about travelling with lipedema, which is something you have a lot of experience with because of your work.
Yes.
Yes.
So I've been traveling quite often for the past 16 years.
Wow.
Around 16, 17 years when I finished my degree. So I went to live in Germany. And because I'm an engineer, all kinds of work you needed to travel, right?
Yeah.
So it started when I was quite young, around 25 or so. And then it kept getting more and more and more traveling. I remember in the first year I traveled like 5 times, all European, so not intercontinental in the beginning. But nevertheless, the flights are around 2, 3, even 4 hours, right? So it's already tough. But in the beginning, when I was young, my lipedema was not very aggressive, so I had it. Of course, I did not know that I had it. I found out that I had lipedema 3 years and a half ago by chance. So I wrote online, in some social platform. Well, I gained so much weight with my 2 pregnancies. Do any gym, any solution for this that can help me? And at the time, a girl came to me and say, well, and can it be that you have lipedema? Because she have seen me once. So, and then she came to me and said, well, what is lipedema, right? And I was lucky enough that I was in Germany. So, German doctors, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm quite biased with German doctors, of course, but yeah, it's definitely a lot more known as a medical condition than just cosmetic, like everywhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, nevertheless, the insurance doesn't pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So, but yes, that's true. So at the time, she have had surgery with Dr. Haprich, and I went to him, and I was diagnosed with lipedema. So, and that's, I think you already talked a lot about this. It takes a big weight out of your shoulders, right? Because it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you're getting bigger.
Yeah.
You do gym, you do sports, you eat healthy, and then your hips get bigger and bigger, your legs get bigger and bigger, right? So it's amazing how to have a name for it, takes out a big burden of your life, and also people start accepting. Nevertheless, I did not tell everyone that I had liposuctions. I just said, well, I have surgeries to my legs, because if you speak about liposuction, then they'll say, oh, everyone knows it as cosmetic, right?
So, yeah, and they make it sound like it's the easy option, and it's not.
Yes, exactly. It's the only option, right? Unfortunately. So when I was young, I did not know that I had lipedema, right? I would travel quite a lot, and my legs got really tired and big. I will never use trousers, so I use dresses and skirts since I remember, because my knees were big, right? So every trousers will compress my knees, and then it's not comfortable, right? So I always found that for traveling it was very helpful to wear dresses. And since very, very young, I use compression socks. Because I just felt they were more comfortable. I even went to a vein doctor. I don't know the name in English.
That's what we call them as well.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I went to a vein doctor, and he was like, oh, you don't have anything, but I would feel comfortable with compression socks, right? So since the beginning, I wear compression socks with dresses, even in the summer, by the way. I can handle it quite well. And then, I had my first kid, my daughter, 9 years ago. Oh my God! So I was pregnant 10 years ago, and I traveled pregnant. So I live in Germany, right? But I'm from Portugal, so I was always going at least 5 times a year to Portugal, plus the traveling at work. And I remember even pregnant, I had a very good pregnancy, to be honest with you, very, very good. But of course, in the end of the day, my legs got really, really tired. One of the things that I always did is that I always walked a lot. I always walked more than 10 kilometers a day since I remember. So I like to walk. So instead of getting the public transportation, I would walk everywhere. And I think that also helped me because of the circulation on the legs, right, to get it a little bit better. But of course, during pregnancies, both of them, with compression socks always. And the doctor even prescribed me some, so the really ones that we use after surgery, right? These black ones, or so the really big compression socks, because there's a lot of types, right? Another thing that I found super easy, well, at least for me, I could never go at the window in the aeroplane because I don't have space to move my legs, right? So I always go in the aisle, and then I will put my legs out. I cannot fall asleep very often because then, you know, I can get something in my legs because the guys will come with the car, right, with the drinks car. And I always sleep in the airplanes, by the way, always. So, but I would never go to the window part. I still don't go in the window aisle. Another thing that I found that really helped me was that I will always, when I was traveling with the company, right, I will always, still today, I try to find hotels that have a swimming pool. Even if they are, you know, the cheapest one, I don't care. I care about the swimming pool.
That's a great tip, a really good tip,
So I would really prefer, instead of, you know, going to a 4 or 5 star hotel, I would go to a 3-star if they have swimming pool. Because then in the end of the day, I could go and walk in the swimming pool and do a lot of exercises, and this helped tremendously. It's really, really good. I still do it today. So I'm going to travel next week, and I have a hotel with a swimming pool. I can tell you this year, I think it's the toughest year in terms of traveling. I entered 32 times in the aeroplane so far, 32. So
you've got to like flying for that.
Yes. I used to have, you know, the gold Star Alliance card. So that's not a good thing, to be honest, because it means that you're just traveling a lot. But yeah, so things that help me: compression socks, not going in the window, so always going in the aisle, getting hotels with swimming pool. This is a big blessing, definitely. And travel light, because, you know, just with the bag, with the suitcase always with you. Nowadays, I don't wear the big compression socks. I only wear the ones until the knee. In the past, I will wear the stockings, so everything. And now I always only use it at the knee because I got 4 surgeries almost 2 years ago. So when I found out I had lipedema, I found out in January that I had lipedema, and my first surgery was June. So I was very lucky because it was COVID. So there was not a lot of women that you know, wanted to have surgery. I got vaccinated very early because of family problems, so I was lucky enough. And so June was my first surgery, July 2nd, August they were closed, then September and October. The last one was at my arms, which was super easy, to be honest. And I never had big arms, so I was lucky with that. And well, I don't have skinny arms, right? None of us have skinny arms, but at least they are, you know, they are not huge, right? So
mine are big. It's still even after surgery.
Mine they took from both arms combined 0.6 from a liter, so half a liter, with a little bit more, which is not a lot for arms, right?
It's still good to have it taken before it develops, though, doesn't it? Like, it's better to have a small amount. Because obviously if I could have had mine done at that stage, I would have, but now I've got the skin and everything. But it's better to have it done as a preventative measure, I imagine.
I did it only as a preventive measure, because what they say is that when you take it out from your legs, then you get a lot in your arms if you don't take them, because it has a memory, right? And so it goes to places where the lipedema is already there. And if you don't have a lot of lipedema in the legs, which I do, by the way, I still have a lot. So I was never skinny. I'm still not skinny. So I took around 8 liters of combined, both legs combined, 8 liters, but I still have a lot. So I still don't have skinny legs, or, you know, legs that are very beautiful. I arrived to a point that, you know, I accepted that. I accept that I will never use a mini skirt without socks, well, even with socks normally I don't, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
I accept that I will not have amazing legs, right? And when I look to a girl, you know, in the walking, I always look to her legs, right? I'm like, oh, I'm quite jealous. I would love to have beautiful legs, you know, to wear. But I know that I will never have. But well, but they did the arms, as I said, as you know, just to be careful for the future. What I feel now after 2 years is that I start to have belly, which I never had before. And I feel that I have some fat in the belly. I don't know if it's lipedema or not, but I normally eat healthy. So, okay, I like sweets as well, of course, like everyone else, right?
Yeah.
But I don't drink milk. I don't, these kind of things that for us, we have to stop a lot of the things that we think are quite normal, right? Because they can get our legs bigger. But yeah, nowadays after 2 years, I feel again that my legs are starting getting a little bit tired. So I know that this disease will be for life, right? We will always be with this battle, which is very sad. But the insurance company, at least in Germany, Portugal, Spain, they don't pay for the surgery, right? So it's extremely expensive. I had the towel method, so I was awake during the surgery. Well, half, right? They call it twilight, right?
That's it,
which is terrible because it hurts like a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts like hell.
Wow.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do that. Just knock me out. I don't want to be awake. I don't want to know.
Yeah. I was very afraid of that. You know why? Because I have 2 kids and I was always afraid of not waking up. Right. So I said, no, I want something that I will be there. Of course, some of the times I was sleeping, but then they hurt me so much and I woke up and I was like, oh. And then the nurse, I remember, she told me, well, you behave really well. All the ladies that got surgery before you, they were crying. And I was like, well, I wanted to cry, but I was like, you know, holding it together. But it was the knees, my knees were so big, Amy, that they had to go 3 times to the knees in the 3 surgeries. In the 3 surgeries. So, and this is, you know, when I got out of all the surgeries, I could see my bones, right, in the knees.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like asking my husband, is this normal? Like, this is so weird, right? Like, to see
I know.
That.
I still get it with my shin bones. I can see my shin bone and a bit of muscle only on one leg, and I'm like, I've never had this. I've always had cushioning on it.
Yeah. But what you see is that when I go to the swimming pool, which I do nowadays, I try to go at least twice a week. I have this hydro bike that I try to. I don't like hydro gymnastics, so I enroll in hydro bike. I try to go twice a week, and of course, you see, I don't know about you, but I see my skin, you know, just floating there. You don't see it when you walk, but you see it in the water, right?
Yeah.
So it's very fun, yeah. So
it feels better. It feels weird, but I quite like the feeling of having the skin loose in water because it makes me feel like, oh, I've got rid of it. I've got rid of that heaviness. Even though obviously loose skin isn't desirable, I much rather have the loose skin than the lipedema fat before. So yeah, when I'm in the pool and I can feel it, I'm like, I quite like it. in a weird way.
I always go to this, you know, this water. How do you call this? This when the water gets out of the swimming pool really fast. How do you call it? For massage, you know, like the hydro massage.
Jets. Jets in the hot tub.
I always go to the jet. Oh, they are so good.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if the swimming pool has that, which in Germany a lot of them have, it's like awesome. And another thing that, going back to traveling, sorry, we go all around.
It's fine, we can go on.
I travel to some countries like more poor countries than Germany, like Romania, right? I go to Romania quite a lot. And in Romania, I love Romania because they have amazing food and they have cheap massages. Because, you know, in this country, you know, when I go, I always go to 4-star. They don't even have 5. Too many 5 stars. I never stayed in one because I go to Transylvania, so in the middle of nowhere. And normally I go alone with a driver, right? Because I don't drive there. And but the whole day alone, right? Working, having meetings. The driver is only to take me there and bring me back to the airport. And in the hotel, I always book massages, like lymphatic massages. That helps a lot.
Yeah,
That helps
that's a
a lot.
good idea. It's like, I suppose, even if you go on holiday, it might be a good idea to book just one lymphatic massage because,
I always book it.
yeah,
Always.
yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
So obviously you fly a lot, and so with traveling, you'll also be in cars a lot, and obviously I'm not sure about
Yes.
trains, but I find with cars, I get a lot of swelling as well in my lower legs. So I'm guessing things like massage, compression still help for that. Yeah, I just wondered if you had any other tips for kind of car travel. Yeah.
So for me, cars are worse than airplanes, to be honest, because you cannot move, right? You cannot stand, um, and there are these cars that are extremely low, so your legs go like up and down. Like my car is like that, so it's not high. My husband's car is higher, the seat, so it's easier. Um, if I'm driving, I don't struggle that much, but if I'm going next to the driver, I really struggle. I always ask my husband to stop, at least once each 1 hour and a half
Yeah.
for me to stretch my legs. Because I don't know about you, but mine it's like they are burning, right? And it's like they are not breathing. I don't know how, it's very tough to explain how you feel, right? Because it's...
Yeah, it feels to me like everything's getting trapped in the bottom part of my leg below the knee. So it feels like it's kind of expanding, and it's just that like, it's like the blood, sorry to talk about blood, but like your blood's not getting back up. It's just stuck in the lower leg. So yeah, I definitely feel that with travel in the car.
It's interesting that you say lower leg. I have it in my full leg.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
the part that I struggle the most is my hips. So, and it's really interesting because when I'm with my period, sorry to go for
fine.
blood again.
We all have them. Well, most people have them.
Yeah. So when I'm with my period, it's super weird. I feel like in my hips where I took the lipedema from, but I still have some. It's like I don't have the feeling that's the lipedema growing, right? And you know that lipedema is very much hormonal related, right? And so when you're with your period, of course, your hormones are different than if you're not. And I don't know, I have that feeling that it's growing. It's super weird. I don't have the legs that I had 2 years ago when I got surgery, to be honest. It grew a little bit. I still look at the mirror and I still see my legs very big. The other people don't see them as big as probably I do. I think it's the brain still does not, recognize the size of your body because it's a change from one day to the other one. But yeah, so cars for me it's terrible. The lower part of the legs is very tough for me, but my hips are also extremely tough. I never felt the arms. But when they massage my arms in the past, it will hurt. So I did not ask them to. And this is a sign of lipedema, right? So I had it as well there. But the legs, definitely, I love massages in my legs. I still don't have the feeling in my full leg. I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't get the feeling still of the skin, right? Well, I have the feeling, but it's not at 100%.
Yeah.
And so, you too?
Yes, I have areas where there's definitely like the nerves aren't quite right, and it's only odd spots, but I know people suffer badly from nerve pain and nerve damage sometimes.
I don't have at all,
Good.
and I was very lucky. I was barely bruised. It was amazing. I was really lucky. I see the girl that had surgery on the same day as me, and they stay in the same room. And you become friends with these women, right? Because you have surgery every day, always in the same day, and then you sleep together in the same room, right? And then you exchange stories. And she's quite young. And she, we became friends because I was the older, so I was like a mom.
Yeah.
and and she was completely out, like, oh, and she actually did not have the arms then. And 1 year after, she went to do the arms because her arms start growing a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and she looks great. She looks amazing. Of course, she does not see it that way, right?
Yeah.
But she looks amazing now. But yeah, so the cars, what I can say is that we can, stop each 1 hour and a half just to stretch the legs. I always try to move my legs in the car. Definitely using compression socks.
Yeah.
That's our life.
Yeah.
I think we'll always use compression socks until we die.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a disease, right? And I think as much as we speak about it, as much as it will be known by other women, right? The other day I was reading that around 10% of women have this disease. 10%, it's crazy, and I did not know about it. You did not know about it, right? And a lot of doctors don't know. In Portugal, there is one doctor now doing surgery to it that actually learned with also Haprish, Dr. Haprish, and another doctor. Is the only one. In Spain, you have 1, 2 maximum, right? And it's something unbelievable and very sad to see. And unfortunately, not everyone can pay for these surgeries, right?
Yeah, no, that's another big part of it, isn't it?
And also the compression socks. I don't know, but in Germany, I spend, I think, 900, almost 1,000 euros on compression socks for the surgery.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
The maintenance for lipedema is huge, like the financial burden. Because even, like you say, when you're travelling, getting a massage or going to a swimming pool, that costs money.
Yes.
And I don't think, I guess a lot of us don't appreciate how much it costs us to have lipedema because we just have to do it to make life bearable.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, the financial burden.
I can tell you that after the surgeries, so there was around 1 year that I was pain-free. So I think we live with pain every day since we were born, right? Yeah. So for us, this pain is the normal.
Yeah.
And on the day that after you get surgeries, at least for me, I had no pain. And I was even talking to my husband and my mom, and I was like telling them, I must be sick because that was so weird for me because I did not have any pain, right? Nowadays, I don't have pain as well, so it's only 2 years, but never, thank God, I don't have pain. But I feel a little bit, my legs a little bit tired when it's hot or when I travel, but it's not as much as it was in the past, right? But now I know what is to be pain-free, so I don't like it. It's way easier to travel now. I think people that don't have this disease, they don't even imagine how it is for us.
Yeah.
Because it's I'm lucky that I can sleep almost off the flights.
Yeah,
I don't have this.
I'm wide awake.
If you don't sleep, if you don't sleep, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Because you have to stay 3 hours controlling yourself and thinking, it's only 1 hour and a half to go. Only 1 hour to go, right? You're always thinking like, almost.
Yeah.
And so it's very tough. It's very tough.
Yeah.
But it's better. After surgeries, I must say that is a little bit better. I still don't like travel, by the way. I do travel a lot, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
No, I don't enjoy it.
No, it's not a nice experience, I suppose. If you can go business class, great, but you can't, can you, when you're going constantly for work? You can't expect people to...
Even on business class, so I normally travel coach, right? Because it's 3 hours, 4 hours. If I do intercontinental with the company, I normally go business, but I don't do it so much. I went to China once, 14 hours in coach. You know how I went, and I went to Dubai also last year, but it's only like 7 hours. I put these trousers, the black ones from the surgery, because I still use them, by the way. I put the trousers, the socks, and some Birkenstock. and then, a long shirt, and that wasn't in the aeroplane.
Yeah.
And then my daughter was like, why are you traveling with flip-flops? And I'm like, this is not flip-flops, okay? It's the only way for me to feel comfortable is to bring, if there are long trips, to bring these trousers with me.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Yeah, I think everyone that will see this podcast, well, not everyone, but mostly know what trousers am I talking about. The black ones, really.
Yeah, they're
hard
more like
to put
leggings,
in.
aren't they?
I have leggings plus socks.
Yes, yes, and I think something else that we could touch on, that I've just thought about is flying, and in car you have very limited space, and I find with the hips, because my hips are still big even after surgery, I can feel armrests digging in me, the clipper for the seatbelt, that I can feel that digging in me, and I suppose there's not really much you can do about it, but compression will help with that because it's holding you in, so things aren't digging into your hips as much. I wondered if you like notice that when you travel with your compression.
I don't feel it in the front seat, but it can. Sometimes my mom travels with us.
Yeah.
And so we are five, right? Me, my husband, my mom, and my two kids. And the kids still use the chairs, right, in the back. So the special chairs for kids.
Yeah.
And so someone has to go in the middle, which is quite tiny, even if we have big cars. And normally goes my husband. I cannot go because I cannot fit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it is what you're saying, like, you have to plug in the seat belt, and it hurts like hell because it's compressing your skin. And so normally my husband is quite skinny and my two kids as well, crazy, thank God.
Yeah.
Hopefully my daughter will not get this, or my boy, because this is can go both ways, right? It's more common in women, but it can go both ways. But yeah, I feel that it's awful, right? And it's really like, oh, my husband goes in the back because, I cannot fit in the back. It's quite humiliating, right? So
yeah.
Like,
and it's
not anymore.
No, my husband's the same. If I have my two nieces in the car, he goes in the middle because he's smaller and he doesn't get that digging in from things. But yeah, I suppose with family it's okay asking for accommodations, but if you were on a flight with, I mean, I'd never book a middle seat anyway next to two strangers. I wouldn't be able to do that because I'd feel so self-conscious. But yeah, I suppose even if you're on the end, you're very aware that things are digging in you and that they might be judging you. Unfortunately, it happens with people that have got bigger hips and stuff. So yeah, it's not pleasant, but I'd say the tips you've given are like really useful to fly in.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for inviting me. It's been really nice. I've been following you since the beginning.
Thank you.
Of the journey.
Yeah.
And and when you got the problems that you did, it was really stressful, right? And I felt the struggle. And that was also one of the reasons that I did not want to go, full anesthesia, because I was so afraid that these things could happen, right? And also I've seen a girl, I think it was the only one that got the bacteria, so she was way worse after. So it's not only the financial struggle, the pain struggle, is also the fear struggle, right? Because we have a lot of fear. These surgeries is 4 times that you're in the surgery.
Yeah.
So a lot of things can happen from that, right? And my doctor wanted to do my 5th surgery, after 1 year, last year. After 1 year, they can see if you have still here, there, and he wanted to go, and because, with the kids and everything, I decided not to do it. So because of the fear that something can go wrong, right? And of course, it's a lot of struggling. And then again, only people with lipedema will understand. But it's good that we speak up, because there's more people that can relate to that because they actually have lipedema.
Yeah,
And I don't know about you. I'm sorry,
No, you go. You
but
go. Sorry.
but I already spoke a lot of women that I see in the street or see in the beach. If I see that they can have it, I will tell them, look, Google lipedema on your phone.
Yeah.
I'm bold and I'm like, oh, I have to do it because I was so happy that someone did it with me.
I'm very introverted, and I wouldn't say I'm shy, but I'm not bold at all. So I'd love to do that. Because I trip over my words a lot, I'd embarrass myself. I need to get a piece of paper or something to do with the talking for me. But yeah, I know a lot of people like yourself, they want to tell people, and yeah, I think we need to get to a place where we can do that and help people, because we're not getting help anywhere else, really. Yeah.
That's how it is, and then yeah, and I don't see anything changing in the next years, which is quite sad, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it at all, any changes. So we have to keep our fight, right? To be careful with ourselves. If we gain 2, 3, 4 kilos, it's we try to lose them, and if we cannot, we cannot.
We have to accept it, yeah.
Because I don't know about you. I think for me, I was also very judgmental about myself, right? Because I said, well, I'm weight. I have a lot of weight, right? And I don't know why. And I did, I even after kids, I have someone that helped me, a personal trainer. I lost like 5 kilos, but that was it. I kept with her. I kept eating very healthy, and I could not go below that. I could not go below a certain threshold.
Yeah, I think many of us have that history where we've done everything, and it's like what we're doing doesn't reflect onto our body, and then that's when you know there's a problem, because it's like the opposite. I think some research shows that dieting with lipedema actually has the opposite effect, where you will get worse the more you diet, because your body is different. We're different. It's hormonal, and it's a cruel cycle to be in, but we definitely need to keep shouting about it, so people that realise younger can get the support younger, instead of getting to the later stages where people are disabled from lipedema and lose their life. Lose just the life, and it's awful. But yes, I'm so grateful that you got involved. So thank you for spending time with me today.
Thank you, Amy.
And thank you for allowing my technical mishap, because it's not happened yet. So you were really kind about that.
Now you know to do it for the future, right?
That's it, yeah. I've learned from the error, so that's good. But yes, thank you very much. I'll let you go, and I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you to Anna for joining me today. I really appreciate your patience with some technical difficulties, and great advice. Some things that I wouldn't have thought of. I will put Anna's Instagram name on the screen if you want to connect with her. And if you want to connect with me, my username is @fat_bottom_Amy. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me for the next video. Bye!